Oh, 7 Commander, stand by here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Caspian Explorer. You can see it right here in front of me. Now, one caveat before we get going with this. This is the test build of the ship, so things are subject to change. I do not anticipate changes like we saw with the Type 11 Prospector. However, just know things are subject to change. This is technically the test server. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is, as the name implies, an exploration ship. So as such, right off the bat, we're going to be focusing on the exploration aspects of the ship. So right here, as it's come up, we've got one large hardpoint and 6 mediums. The ship can defend itself quite well. You've got 6 utility mounts. This is where things get interesting and where I wish we had a little more transparency. Everything looks pretty normal. I want to note that this is the galactic build of the ship. If you are looking at the Stellar, it'll be the same, but without the holographic paint job. And if you're looking at the regular version, these modules will be E-rated. So what we have here is the Mark II ablative lightweight alloy. The interesting note here is enhanced with ablative shielding for improved planetary reentry. Now, if we were to look at the regular 1C lightweight alloys, it's the exact same across the board, except the ablatives weigh 15 tons. If we take a look at these gravity optimized thrusters, now I have gone in and engineered these things for the sake of transparency, so full dirty drive tuning. These thrusters say that they improve propulsion systems for ships optimized to better counter the effects of gravity near planetary surfaces. And then your Mark II optimized frameshift drive, again, I have gone ahead and fully engineered this thing for increased FSD range. Now, we don't really get any idea of what these two do because it doesn't show up anywhere in the stats. It's purely kind of anecdotal, and I'll talk about that in a minute. This, however, is very much something that you can see. The current drive that I have in this thing with this engineering, and not a whole lot of other engineering, like we've taken this power plant down to 6D. This will allow about a 437 light year jump off of a neutron star like Jackson's Lighthouse. That's a 6 times increase as opposed to about a 4 times increase on normal ships. Everything else about this ship is pretty standard. I will note that the build that you get with the Galactic Edition has a couple little interesting things in it. We can pop over to storage ships and look at one I haven't deployed so that you can see that. And this would be the Stellar version of the ship right here. So if we take a look at it, obviously here's all the A-rated stuff. Here's where things get interesting. This thing comes with 3 AFMs, these auto field maintenance units. It comes with a 2-vehicle planetary vehicle hangar, research limpet controller, detailed surface scanner, super cruise assist, advanced docking computer, and a repair limpet controller. This is a build that's meant to stay out in the black or taking damage from neutron star jumps for quite a long time. I think that these 3 AFMs is a little bit of overkill. I've never personally needed more than 1. I certainly wouldn't take more than 2. That's personal preference. I think 3 is a little overkill. Also note that with the fighter hangar and the planetary vehicle hangar, that is an extra 20 tons of mass interfering with your jump range there. So quite a little bit of weirdness going on there, I think, with the Stellar fit. However, the one thing the ship does excel at is jump range. Straight line, just off of neutron stars jump range. This thing is an absolute monster. Now, if you're wondering what else it can do, it is quite possible to configure this thing to carry around 300 to 400 tons of cargo, depending on how you set it up and what type of shield generator you put on it or do not put on it. It is possible to put some very interesting weapon configurations on this thing, and it will absolutely hold its own. It is no combat ship, but it can stick up for itself in a fight. I wouldn't take it into a Haz-Res, but somebody's probably going to kill a Medusa with it the first day it's released, so, there is that. And these optional internals, you do have a wide range of slots here, so this does give you a lot of other flexibility for mining. You've got plenty of hard ports for mining. Now, of course, it's not going to outmine a Type 11, but you could absolutely go mining in it. Keep in mind, alright, let's get into space and actually talk about how this ship flies. So right now, all pips to engines and running that current build that I did show you. Let's go ahead. We're cruising at 309. And boosting up to about 426, so not bad. So here we are at Jackson's Lighthouse. This is probably a pretty well-known neutron star to most of you. Go ahead and get into the cone here. Now, this is just my impression, but as with most larger ships, but especially with this one, it definitely handles a lot easier while you are jet cone boosting. Seems to be easier to control and get out of the boost. So we have just supercharged. There we go, 441.06 light years currently, so that is a pretty beastly jump range. Your boost will not be as high off of a white dwarf, keep in mind. This is specifically off of a neutron star. But that jump range does mean that we can go just about anywhere we want to in the bubble. It will be fantastic for the neutron highway. So this is the part of this ship, as far as an exploration ship, that is easily quantifiable and absolutely gives it superior jump range to pretty much anything else out there. Some of the other stuff is a little harder to quantify, and let's talk about that. Alright, we are in approach to Action R3 here, and the reason I've chosen this plan is because it does have relatively high gravity at 6.7 Gs. This will allow us to test out the armor that's supposed to allow steeper approaches, and the thrusters, which are supposed to allow better operation close to planet surfaces. Now this is stuff that we can't see in the actual numbers and stats, so this is purely, at least when you look at outfitting, you can't see those numbers and stats, so there's a little bit of this is kind of purely anecdotal evidence. I do not have hard numbers on it. But you'll see there that our red zone for glide kicks in at -75 right there. As we head for the surface, we are already up to 6.3 Gs. And heading straight down. Now, one thing I can definitively tell you about this ship is that it does fly faster under glide than other ships do. We'll straighten it out here a little bit so that you guys can see just how steep a descent angle we were on. Most ships will glide, all other ships will glide at 2,500. I believe it's meters per second. This thing glides at 3,500. And it does handle pretty well. Let's go ahead and stop our fall here if we can. So yeah, those thrusters do allow us to maintain some control. 6.7 Gs is manageable. It is not impossible in other ships, but anybody that's tried flying on a high G planet knows you have to be pretty careful. And that's going to be the name of the game with this ship still. Until we get some hard numbers on exactly what those thrusters do in terms of difference, which is going to take some testing in the live environment. But as you can see right here, she's not wanting to stop. And there go our shields. So part of that was pilot error, and part of that was just the nature of 6.7 G planets. Probably more pilot error than anything before you tear me apart in the comments. So where does that leave the Caspian Explorer? Well, it's certainly a perfectly competent exploration ship as far as jump range goes. It's going to run the neutron highlight like nobody's business. Getting to Colonia and back is basically never going to have been easier with this ship. And with a little tweaking, you're going to be reeling off 500 light-year jump, so outstripping even fleet carriers and not having to wait for the 15 to 30-minute downtime jump slots that you get with those ships. That's the last thing that explorers might be interested in here, is how does this thing do in supercruise? And the answer is it does very, very well. Just like most new generation ships, it is pretty stable. My hands are actually off the stick right now. And it doesn't take much to bring it back under control. It has very good fuel consumption. As you can see, we haven't surpassed 60% heat yet. And we are going to be topping out here around 2500 C. So, under Super Cruise, overcharged, it is pretty darn good. Handles nicely. And that is kind of my baseline feel of the whole ship, is it does handle nicely. It is doing what they told us it was going to do, which is out-jump everything, basically, without any real issue. It's able to be fit for mining pretty easily, for cargo hauling, and for combat, all reasonably competently, but it will be outperformed by other ships in those fields. For the amount of cargo it can hold, you're better off with a Type 8 because you'll be able to land at medium outpost, or if you want to go bigger, then go for the Panther Clipper and just carry the whole universe. For mining, nothing is going to stop the Type 11 right now. For combat, there are a myriad other ships that are better suited for pure combat than this thing. So, jack of all trades in those roles, master of none. Exploration, absolutely a master of running the Neutron Star Highway, and I think that's where we're going to see this ship utilized the most, because that is absolutely what it is optimized for, with that specialized drive. As far as actually landing on planets and that kind of exploration, I don't see it as being especially more fit for that role than any other ships, as long as you know what you're doing. Gravity wells can be overcome with careful piloting, so yeah, it's nice to have thrusters that can help you with that, but as we saw a while ago with my flubbed landing, that all comes down to the commander piloting the ship, and you can overcome a gravity well as long as you have reasonably sized thrusters with just careful piloting. So I don't see that it has necessarily a giant advantage there from my testing. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for the Caspian Explorer? Do you wish it had some different features? Are you as curious as me about getting some hard numbers, maybe, about what those two modules actually do in terms of affecting landing and gravity well performance? I know I am. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Consider becoming a channel member. And if you're here to the end, thank you for watching and feeding the algorithm. 07 Commanders, I'm Dimebot. I'll see you guys next time.